Hello everyone, it's Elizabeth and I'm over here in my art loft. I wanted to show you a new journal I made. It's supposedly a Paris journal. The girl that started it said it was a French chateau, but I think a chateau actually has a larger house and land associated with it. This is more like a French row house, but I wanted it to be kind of Paris-y. So I looked up Paris, and it says on the computer that Paris is noted for its cafe culture, or laid-backness. The Eiffel Tower, of course. Fashion. And Notre Dame, and the Moulin Rouge, pastries. And it's the city of brotherly love, and city of lights. Anyway, I finally put the tassel on the back, and the tassel's attached to each of the different signatures that I used to sew it in. And if you look at the bottom, it has the letters H, come back here, H, A, P, P, Y, happy, are spelled out in the letters, plus there are beads on the other strings that come out from it. Oops, losing it. Front's made simply of cardstock, and then the different roof lines of the different types of buildings, which might be row houses, are used. Each of the signatures, the roof of the one is the same color as the house part of the other. I only put the windows on the front one, but each of the signatures has a different color, top and bottom. There are 5 signatures, 6 houses. Each of the signatures has one or more Eiffel Tower. This one is a napkin that I've put attached to one of the pages that I put in. The pages are roll-offs from my jelly plate, so they have just a lot of color on them. Sometimes they have stamp-offs. In this case, I put on a quick stencil, and it had art, so I outlined the art so that you can read that part. The rest of it's not that readable. I used, instead of regular lace, I used paper lace because I don't have a lot of regular lace, and I do have several of the punches, so I punched out the different ones and attached them to different pages. And I tried to make the things coordinate to some degree. See, there's some red in there and red in there. You could write on any of these pages. This one has additional butterflies stamped on it, and this one was tea-dyed. Is a piece of graph paper with the diagonals, and I forgot what that's called, but there's a certain word for it. Anyway, it says, cherish yesterday, dream tomorrow, and live today. I also used a music page and a single one of those pages, and then a page from a machinist's book. And then at least one of them got turned over into being a pocket. And then I put in a piece of my jelly paper that I either tea stained or faux tea stained. To faux tea stain it, I used glue and a re-inker and water. Here we have 3 little envelopes which have different types of stamps, and they have just pieces of gel print in them. I could have tried to write a letter or pretend to write a letter, but I didn't. I just put pretty things in there for you to look at. I did try to make it look like French address on the front by putting Madame and Monsieur as the name, but then I wrote Paris, France, so that wouldn't have been quite how they'd write it. So just some more of the jelly prints. So what I had was 3 jelly prints, then 3 pages that were the graph and the music and the book page, and then 3 more jelly prints, and then a center section for each of the signatures. And the center section is made from a Dina Wakely sheet of paper, and I modified each of them to some degree. This one I changed some of the white that was outlining her face that I didn't like. I darkened it because it looked too white for me. Plus she had some little sparklies on her eyes, but they weren't sparkly, so I made them sparkly with a gel, what do you call it, pen, one of those that makes it sparkly. I think this looks like water and some sand maybe. But it'd be lots of fun to do collages and other things in there. You can write on these pages. This is just acrylic paint that's been rolled off onto the page. In some cases, I added another jelly print. In this case, it folds out. I did some stenciling with an Istencil lace pattern. Made some faux coffee rings or tea rings. Since it looks like tea staining, I guess it would be tea rings. It says a dream. Butterflies. This is a piece of old style. It's from like 20 years ago, probably. Not cardstock, but scrapbooking paper that I used as to make a pocket with this jelly page, and I just glued it on 3 sides, and then I trimmed with the cutter. I trimmed the edge so it looked like lace, but it's, you know, made of the same stuff. These are some of the Indian handmade paper type things that you can get collections of. I think they sell bunches of it in different shapes and sizes. So I trimmed them down to be 3 little tags in here. Thought this would be pretty to go with the green. I like pink and green. Makes me think of Paris. Why it is pink and green, I don't know. I did washi tape on the backs of each of the signatures so that it would be reinforced a little. This looked like a grid to me, so when I did the lace edge on it, I made it kind of overlap differently on each side, and it fits well because this side you don't see it very much. This looks like a beach type scene too, but I haven't enhanced it. This is a couple of note cards you could write on, faux tea stained, and stamped with butterflies that I cut by hand. I just have them in that pocket. Put one to the top, one to the bottom, and they stay better. Some more stenciling. This is a little secret place to write your writings, because who's going to open all that up and look at all that? But maybe they would. And it kind of latches back by tucking the one piece of the heart into the other piece. This is a fold-out set of pockets with some note pads in them. They have backings of actual things that I printed with my gel plate. The pamphlet itself is gel plate printed. Let's see, and stamped off butterflies. Oops, get your little ribbon down there. And then we have another pocket on the other side of it. Put washi tape to hold that in, and then I glued it again because the washi tape was coming loose. Here's my 3 gel plate roll-offs here. Then I have the Dina Wakely picture. And the Dina Wakely picture, she didn't have very much clothes on, so I gave her a skirt and made it look like a little, I don't know, extra top to her skirt. I thought that was cute. Some places I stamped text just for fun. If you were writing in this journal, you could easily write over that. It might look a little like, it would look like background stuff. Here's another piece of the graph paper, which in this case I added an envelope which I tore diagonally, and it was an orange envelope that was orange on both sides. I think it looks like sherbet, and I think of, you know, like Paris having like sherbet. I made this out of an orange glow. These were polishing cloths that had dried up, of course. And so I tore off a little bit and made a little flower thing out of it. Put it on this is a napkin decoupaged onto there. This is a lovely tag that Laura Edwards sent me. And this is a tag that I made from a jelly plate print. I just liked it because I liked the orange, worked with it. It was kind of interesting. It's on a green piece of pastel paper. That fits right in behind there. So you could have bigger tags in there if you wanted. Here's a piece of marbled paper that I did, marbled on both sides, because when I marbled it, I just kind of pushed it down in there and it flowed over the back as well. This little piece was fussy cut out after a stamp was stamped on it and embossed. That's back when I did those things. I used to use those for edges of cards and make cards. Another gel plate print thing. Another stencil stamp. Some more of my prints, gel plate prints. Another Eiffel Tower. There's at least one Eiffel Tower picture of some sort in each of the different signatures. This one I made this stamp, the feather and the little flowers on the side. And this was a challenge that Joy had us do, that we were to take a card and put words of some sort on it. May you always be brave enough to fly, dream and hope and imagine, and find the beauty everywhere. Find beauty everywhere. So this was a gel print on the background, and then all the papers, the pages were added, and I thought this looked kind of like marquees, so I put the lights around the find beauty everywhere. This was wired ribbon, so I took the wires out and I made a belly band out of it, and these are actually wallpaper samples, and they have a cloth backing, so they're really sturdy, and you could easily write on those as journaling cards, or put something else on them if you wanted, or move them to somewhere else and make them into a pocket. They'd work out fine. Another stenciled paper, another gel print tag. In this case, I tore off the extra piece of this page and glued this piece on, which was a piece of a gel print, and used the border, the white border that you get on a lot of gel prints, and made the little heart thing so that it looks like, I mean, you don't see the second heart as much, so it doesn't look just like that other one I had done previously, but it does give a really kind of lacy look there. Of course, you see it from the back. Another gel print. This was still a roll off, but stamp off, because I was taking ink off the plate and then just putting it onto that. That's a stamp off. Pretty colors. This is another. This is one my sister let me borrow, but it didn't fit. I didn't want it to stop right there, so I went ahead and left the motif to go all the way up to the top. So it just sticks out the top, and since the roofs are sticking out there anyway, it doesn't really matter. This girl, I painted her pants because I didn't like her having the white pants and her ruffle. And her hearts, I painted her hearts, made them redder because they weren't very red, and I gave her redder lipstick. And this is a rubber stamp. Some more text, gel plate, and this I just took the extra pieces of that thing that you saw back there that had this motif on it. I took the extra pieces and made them into pockets, so I have 3 heart pockets, and just stacked them one after the other. And you could, instead of having heart tags to write on, you could actually have them as, I mean, they could be regular type tags. You could put a regular type tag in there. Oops. Came out with it. This was tea dyed, and this is stencil. There's another belly band, the same as the other one, except this is a little taller tag so it stays in better. There's 2 different ones there. Another stamp. This is what I showed last Technique Tuesday, where you can, saw this on Pinterest, that you can put something on a little string, and then when you pick up the card or open the card or whatever, then you can see that I made it work on both sides, but you can see that it would turn around. The best one I saw of these was a little ballerina silhouette. It was so cute. The little ballerina was inside a circle, and of course the card, then when you picked it up, she did a twirl. This is a rubber stamp I have that has all these butterflies on it, and when I was taking it off of the plate with it, just stamping over to here to take off the ink as I did it. But that looks really cool all together. This is a bunch of, this was another jelly plate print, But each of these are individual stamps that I've carved to subtract the ink off of there. And when I stamped on this pocket, I did across the pocket so that you could see the butterflies. And then it's kind of interesting this way too. Another stencil. This piece of marbled paper that I did. This is a couple of different stamp offs. The blue butterflies like before, and then the extra red things. There's also same blue butterflies, but in a different color. This was a piece of fabric that I got from the LAFTA group, the Louisville Area Fiber and Textile Artists. And I copied it on my printer first, and when I have it in here, I thought it looked really light, and I wanted some tag to go in it. So I put this in, and it's really kind of cool because it makes it darker. It's a very thin piece of paper, thin piece of cloth. And so when you have the other piece of paper underneath of it, which is exactly the same thing, of course, because it's a copy that I printed on my printer, then she looks more robust, I think. But this is, it may not have actually been an Alphonse Mucha print, but it was one that looked like his. And he was born in Austria-Hungary, and moved to Paris at the age of 28. I think he died in his 40s or something, so I thought he was appropriate for a Paris journal. Another Dina Wakely print, and to make it more interesting, I made a 3D little rose that she's leaning over to pluck. This is a nice little tuck. I've put two of these little flowers that I cut out of the eraser. There was an eraser that had a print on it that had this particular print, and I'll go ahead and put that one in there too. That'll look fun. But you could use those for journaling, or you could whatever. This is a piece of lace that I got when I visited my sister in Minnesota. Some pretty flowers, butterflies, more butterflies. I like butterflies. This is a neat little pull-out. The band over here keeps it together, and then when you pull it out, you have the whole. This is on rice paper. It's a jelly print that's on rice paper, and it didn't quite fit, so I put the extra things on the edges. And these are pulled off with a rubber stamp. This has another one of those heart, same heart things in it, tucked in here in the back where you'd never notice it unless you peek. To write your love notes or whatever particular things you want to have hidden. So I just put that in there for fun. It says dream. And when you tuck this back in, then this doesn't flip or flap whenever you're turning the pages. Another stencil. It's got a couple of little cards in it. These are actually really tea stained. I just kind of tuck them in there. This is a napkin that Laura Edwards sent me. It's beautiful. And the background piece was a piece of my hand printed paper, and it did have kind of blue down to here and a brownish down here, but the napkin did as well, and so it worked out really well that it kind of all flowed together. But I really like that one. I think that turned out great. Okay, and little butterflies, some more butterflies into the red. When I picked the papers to go together, I tried to make them work with the girl that was in the middle of each of the signatures. So you'll see a lot of times the color that the girl is, the color of her background is what the papers that are nearest her will look like. Another piece of marbled paper that I did, stamp off of butterflies, a stamp off of the zigzag stuff. The last Dina Wakely picture, and I added the little sparklies to her hair and here, and I gave her a little bit turned up mouth because she looks so depressed that I kind of tried to help her look a little happier. She's still not really happy. And then, so she's got red because her hair's red. Put red next to her, some blue-green. The last tag, really tea-dyed stuff. I know I didn't pile on things like some people do in their junk journals, but to me this was junky enough because I like the, you know, just the juxtaposition of some of the things that are, you know, to me this is leftovers or junk because it was the roll-off from my jelly plate. I wasn't actually printing something on that, but to someone else it might not be because they might just really like that shiny page or something. And there we have it. And I even have a little tiny postage stamp looking thing that has an Eiffel Tower on it. And that's it for my Paris journal. The little, can't get that to go right. Come on, you. Get untangled. And for the closure, I just braided a piece of the variegated pink and then just bring it around and tie it like a just regular type thing. You can leave your questions or comments in the comment section. You can subscribe to my channel. Have a great day and hope you stay safe. Oh, now I can't get it to tie. Come on, you. Okay, grab this again. Make my little bunny ear, which isn't a bunny ear. And then stick that through the hole. Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. I like a one-side knot. And I drew these silly little things, including the little rail along the edge of the roof line. There we are. Thank you. Bye.